So the Donald Trump clown show continues.
What's going on today?
Well, the OECD just basically marked down growth, meaning that we're not going to grow as fast because of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's sort of today's video. And if you don't know, the OECD, because I forget sometimes myself, is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And they're downgrading Trump growth even worse than what Congress is saying. So before, I think Congress was predicting growth under Trump something like 1.8%, something like that. It may end up being sort of one of the lowest in U.S. history. The OECD is actually saying, you know what, you might be looking more like 1.5% growth. So to be fair to Trump, at least we're growing a little bit.
Yeah.
1.5 is not great.
It's
Perfectly great.
flat.
Yeah.
Think about inflation, you know.
You can make that case, basically flat. And then also when you look at, like, say, what other countries are doing, we don't look so great. Overall, the OECD is saying global growth is also going to be down. So they're saying, but I'll read it. It says global GDP growth is projected to slow from 3.3% in 2024 to 2.9% this year and in 2026. So remember, because you're like, how do we talk about, say, 1.5% growth in USA? That's 1.5% for USA compared to, say, 2.9% average among the world. So what, half of the rest of the world thanks to Trump. And they give many reasons. So I'll go through these things. We'll talk about it. So the first one, substantial increases in barriers to trade, right? So basically the tariffs, things like that. Because if people aren't trading, like it really slows down everything because we're all connected, right? And one of the big concerns of essentially the sort of not trading thing is how do we keep people spending? So they're doing some crazy stuff in China. Just for example, do you remember what they're doing?
Bring your old stuff, and we give you a discount.
Yeah, like a credit trading kind of thing. Yeah.
That's not credit stuff. We do have that kind of system, and you know, Apple has that system.
They do. Yeah. So companies have that system, and it's something that, like, at least in the USA, car companies have been doing that for years. We're bringing your old car and we'll give you some credit, and then they try to sell your old car, etc. The difference with this, though, is that the government's really pushing it, right? So the government is in a way subsidizing companies by, like, so like, for example, in the Apple situation, Apple kind of cheats you in the trade-in. And if you don't know, we found out the hard way where you trade in a computer, if you send in your power thing, they just throw your power thing away. And then also they'll kind of like make up excuses of like to knock your value of your item down.
Yeah. In Korea, we try to, to sell your Apple. Like first time they say like about like $50, right? But it turns out it was like $100.
Oh, okay. So the first estimate they said, sell us your Apple would be like $350, right? And then when they came back, it was like, we'll give you 80, the exact number. So that was from Apple. So basically there was like spots on the screen. Basically they're saying the screen wasn't clean, but it's like there's nothing wrong with the computer, just had a little bit dirty, and I mean like a little bit. And then on top of that, this is not just our experience with Apple. That's something they've been doing quite a bit. So this is different to where the government is saying, hey, we'll give you more money for your credit, for your trade-in, and then try to encourage that. And it's not just cars. So we're talking about cars, phones. It could be appliances, refrigerators, etc. Because remember, all of our modern economy is based on basically people buying stuff.
Yeah.
Because if people don't say, like, go shopping at LG, then the people at LG don't have a job. And the people don't go shopping at Samsung, people at Samsung don't have a job, et cetera, if you guys are saying. So these are some of the things that we're concerned on to keep the growth going. So one, right, again, we're talking about trade barriers. People aren't trading. If people aren't trading, supply chains slow down. People aren't making stuff. And on top of that, people aren't buying. So it's a combination of things. Also this, tighter financial conditions. Now, that could be a couple of things. So if I'm going to buy a house, what do I need usually?
Loan.
Yeah. So, you could say higher borrowing rates with one thing, or just banks aren't lending out so much money, meaning that when you apply, they're like, they look at your history and they're just like, no. It's not going to happen, right? In a looser environment, you're just giving out free money to everyone. Take that money. Take that money.
Free credit card. Make credit card today.
Yeah.
10 credit card, 20 credit card.
And you guys can understand, the easier it is when you give out, say, credit or this kind of stuff, you have more chance of people basically not paying it back, essentially, right? So when you have an economic slowdown, people are worried about jobs. People, are tightening up essentially you could say wallets, tighten up the credit markets. Everything slows down. So that's another issue that's going on. Another one, weaker business and consumer confidence, okay? And this is based on basically you don't know what's going to happen in the future under Trump. So they say, this is for their language, heightened policy uncertainty will all have marked adverse effects on growth prospects if they persist, right? So the future is uncertain due to Trump. So you have business uncertainty and consumer uncertainty. And that's the question I pose to you guys at work. Do you sort of like hear the stuff in the pipeline, right? At your job, do you say, you know, is people hiring, not hiring, these kind of things? Because
And you have a new order.
right.
Yeah, no order.
Because you'll see this if like more orders are coming in, your boss will be like, you know, hey, you need to work overtime, and you're just like, no, I want you to hire more people, right? That kind of thing.
You're the branch, but you know the headquarters supposed to visit you next month, but they cancel every business trip.
Yeah. There's no reason, or and actually the business travel one's an interesting one because we've already seen slowdowns with the airlines, these kind of things. So like all of these conditions, like economically goes in cycles. Trump is just frankly making it much worse. And again, you're looking at really slow growth. On top of that, the new steel and aluminum tariffs are really going to affect markets.
Yeah.
And Europe is actually kind of angry about this. So this is what coming in from the EU. They say if no mutually acceptable solution is reached, both existing and additional EU measures will automatically take effect on 14 July or earlier if circumstance requires. So what are we right now? What's the date today? We're June 1st, I think, or 2nd even now. June 3rd. Time goes fast. So we still have, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks to settle said things. EU is also saying here, we strongly regret the announced increase of U.S. tariffs on steel imports from 25 to 50. The decision adds to further uncertainty to the global economy and increased costs for consumers' business on both sides of the Atlantic. So you're getting the same kind of language everywhere, right? Why are you making this stuff so uncertain and you're making the costs go up for everyone? And it's kind of funny, the Trump people keep saying that I think costs are going down. They go on TV and they say that, and it's like
going down.
Well, yeah, well, okay, well, they keep saying your grocery prices are going down.
I keep seeing the egg prices going up.
Yeah.
Inflation.
So I want to hear from you guys out at, like literally out in the field, you know, meaning like when you go to the store, do you feel like, you know, your grocery prices are going down? Basent guy, that's the Treasury, he went on TV and he said, you know, I talk to companies all the time and you know, we're all going to go back to school shopping, and I guess he claims that he buys all his back to school clothes for his family or whatever on Amazon is what he claims.
I don't think so. You know, I'm sure they have VIP card of some sort of department store.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's someone like Basent's not shopping in Amazon,
No.
probably. Yeah. And then he was claiming that we're all buying our Halloween costumes at Home Depot.
Are you?
I didn't even know they sold Halloween costumes. I don't think they do, to be perfectly frank.
Well, you have to stapler your
clothes. Right. Yeah. Make your, well.
The nail in your clothes.
Yeah. If you go to Home Depot, you're going to make your costume out of wood, basically. I guess we're all going to be like the Scarecrow or the Tin Man for Halloween or something like that. It was kind of crazy because like what that shows, that little conversation, was how out of touch they are with the American consumers, right? Like when someone's telling you, no, don't. The joke is like, don't believe your lying eyes. Like your eyes are lying to you. You know, only believe us, and then go buy your Halloween costumes over there. It just comes across as ridiculous. Was that?
Yeah, and Trump just changes his picture.
Oh,
the
right.
White House.
That's right.
So
That's right.
Everything's going crazy here. Everyone is suffering. But
Right.
Oh, I don't like my picture. Take my picture again today. Doesn't make sense.
Well, that shows you that's his priorities. He's running a TV show over there. He's more concerned about how things look opposed to how things are. And you know, all of his policies aren't really designed to help you. They're just designed to sort of like he wants those photo ops.
Yeah.
And the big thing we're waiting for right now, right? So like you're wondering like where is this going to go, right? How could this possibly end? Well, they're saying on the Trump side that all it needs is Trump needs to have a phone call with President Xi, and therefore it'll be over. But like, phone call for what? I mean, because essentially what this is that the Trump people at the moment,
they were claiming before they had a 2.5-hour phone call with the Russia, right?
Well,
but after that they announced nothing.
Yeah.
They just announced they had a great, beautiful phone call.
You actually bring up a good point. So you're just talking about a couple different things at the same time here. So first is, yes, Trump would always say, you know, I can end the war in Ukraine right away. I just need a phone call with Putin. So yeah, he had a 2.5-hour phone call with Putin, and like basically nothing happened.
Yeah.
So what's going on with the China thing is that all the people are saying, okay, we're going to negotiate stuff, and then when everybody's negotiated, then Trump will basically meet with Xi or whatever, sign the thing, and it'll be done. But now the language is we need Trump to negotiate with Xi because I think they've kind of given up, is what it sounds like to me. And at that point, China has a major upper hand or advantage because they can just, basically say, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this. And Trump was like, oh, as long as I get that phone call, as long as I get that, photo op or whatever, and we can be best buddies. And it's just like, what are you guys doing over there? So just wanted to give you guys an update. Again, the OECD is marking down growth globally and for the USA. I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll catch you on the next video. So bye.